New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network is proud to present Cosmic Prayers, your weekly shift, Mondays at 11 Mountain Time, with your host, Laura Topper. The Cosmic Prayers, live from the UK. And now, here she is, Laura Topper.
Hi and welcome to the Cosmic Prayer. I'm Laura Topper. You are here viewing through New Thought Media Network, this amazing platform that introduces and brings to you so many beautiful spiritual principles and practices. And today on the show, we have an incredible guest. I'm just so excited. Hang on for this, wherever you are in the world and wherever you are joining us from, because our guest today is an extremely talented, heartfelt singer and songwriter and author and coach. And she has her own unique style of bringing her songs and messages to the world. She's toured the US, she's toured Europe, she's a New Thought artist. And the first time that I connected with her was a couple of years ago when she very kindly sent me her beautiful music to play on a radio show that I was producing at that time. And we've kind of kept in touch through social media, and now we just connected and have this amazing opportunity to be here together on the Cosmic Prayer. So, waiting no longer, welcome Robin Hackett to the Cosmic Prayer. I'm just so pleased that you're here and that we're connecting. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I was thinking, I feel like that you and I connected at Asilomar. I think I was singing in the chapel one morning and you caught me when I was leaving or something, and that's how we originally connected. I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
We could have been. It's just that I've never been there. It wasn't me. But, you know.
All right. It was another English lady with reddish hair.
So welcome to the Cosmic Prayer. I know that when you originally sent me your songs, I was just completely mesmerized by your voice and your message and the intention. And I just feel that what you're doing is amazing, because you're a female singer-songwriter, giving that amazing kind of inspiration for women to get on with it and fine-tune their business and to really use spiritual practice, whatever that means for you, and prayer in bringing all of this together and weaving it together for your life. So before we hear your songs, I want to just have a conversation with you about prayer and what prayer means for you, and how in what way you may have used or you use prayer for your life, what it really means for you.
Okay. You know, it's interesting because I feel like I've used a combination of different styles. And I do come from a Catholic background. So there's a little bit, and I'm not going to say Catholic, but there is a little bit. Some people talk about prayer to something, prayer through you, prayer around you, or the God without, the God within, God all around. And so there have been times where I've literally been on my knees and I'm like, oh, please, that. And there have been other times where I'm just standing strong and just claiming this is the intention. This is what I desire for my life. And there are other times where I actually sit and I'm in my journal, and I go through the 5-step treatment that we all know in science of mind. So it's been a combination for me. And I also I listened to Abraham Hicks, The Law of Attraction, and have as recently have spent a lot of time really just being in that space of that feel-good space, which really to me is immerging yourself one with the divine, one with God, and being in that spirit, and then setting your intentions and allowing them to come forth and through you. So
I love what you've just said, because it can be really, we can get into a kind of structure where we believe that, okay, we've done our prayer, we've prayed, and then getting on with the rest of the day. And what you're saying is that being in that feel good space is the piece in between the prayers in the morning and the evening. It's actually living it, and with intention. Yeah.
I think for me, what's been helpful is that I still can connect everything back to our 5-step process, and living in that feel-good place is in the letting go. And I used to have a problem with the letting go step, just letting it go and then allowing it for it to happen. But now that I focus more on, feeling good as much as possible, going towards those things, as they say, follow your bliss. And in every moment, defining what that is for me, what's my next step that's going to leave me in a feel-good space. And for me in the morning, it really has a lot to do. Like when I moved here to Texas, and this would happen in Colorado as well, beauty is really important to me. And I mean on all levels, like beauty in your home, beauty in your clothing, but beauty in nature. And so when I moved here to Texas, I was outside and I totally forgot how much the birds talk in the morning. And I was mesmerized by it. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot this, because I used to live here, and the audience doesn't know, I just moved back to Texas from Colorado. But when I was in Colorado, I lived in a beautiful area, beautiful surrounding, a beautiful home. And I would just go out in the morning, and there was the mountain range there. And I would just be in nature. And that for me really aligns me with the divine. I mean, when you're surrounded in that, or you're seeking to find that beauty wherever you are, for me, it just aligns me with the divine, because the divine created all of that. So we're literally surrounded in the divine all the time.
Yeah.
So
amazing. And yeah, beauty. It's and it's at those times in our lives where we're not quite feeling the beauty or seeing the beauty. The experiences that we go to, particularly of the last year, or I'm not just highlighting the last year, because that things happen, and life is happening all the time, isn't it? And showing up in its infinite ways. And for me, it's about actually remembering that beauty, even if I don't see it with my own eyes or feel it at that moment with my heart.
Right. Absolutely. I don't know how the pandemic was for you, Laura. I mean, I'm sure that everyone had their own experience with it. For me, it was a jolt. It was a jolt into either I'm totally going to walk this path, talk this path, be this path, or not. And I was in Colorado when the pandemic happened. And then I came home to Texas to be with my mom, because she was essentially by herself all day long. I spent a lot of time by myself, and I realized that my mind just chatters on and on and on and on. I'm not unlike other people. I'm not uniquely defective that way, but it just would chatter on. And I spent time just getting a hold of my negative thoughts and practicing mindfulness, and knowing that whatever we're thinking, and this is what's taught, that whatever we're thinking, that's the prayer that we're putting out. And if I had all this negativity going on, there was something that needed to change. So I spent I think it solidified my practice, the pandemic, because I was many times by myself with my own thoughts. That's a dangerous place sometimes, but that's changed for me now. But I got to really get in touch with all kinds of triggers, my patterns, the way that I think about things. And I spent time reading the Ernest Holmes big book, Science of Mind book. And I was in a book club for Michael Singer's The Untethered Soul.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was, through this last year in the practice of this, was able to kind of clear my canvas of weeds, negative thinking. Those are the weeds. And kind of clear that canvas and start to put some, pretty flowers on the canvas. And that's how the pandemic has been for me. It's just really, really solidified my practice and to be in this practice and philosophy.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, because that's really powerful for viewers that are watching this, or if, people that may listen, because this goes out on a podcast as well with New Thought Media Network. So however people get to hear this, and I think this is really powerful because what you're saying, what I'm hearing that you're saying is that these experiences that happen that we may think are like, earth shattering, we really have this deep opportunity to go within and to clear ourselves and to be the best version of ourselves amongst all the stuff that's happening. Yeah. And it was heavy for a lot of people, and for a lot it still is, isn't it? There's trauma. Yeah. There's trauma of it. There's a ripple of, wow, did that really just happen?
I guess my thought, for me, I'll just say for me, and I didn't suffer. Some people really were concerned about their well-being, if they had enough food, what was happening with their home, if they could continue to live in their home. For me, I have learned to use, and it took me a while to get this, I have learned to use conflict, because life is going, you're not going to stop having challenges. So I've learned to use the challenges as a spiritual growth and expansion, and having an awareness, what's happening here? How can I course correct with what my teachings are? How can I course correct? So I use all conflict with people, with relationships, with whatever, as a tool for expansion and becoming, as I tell people, to walk more in Christ consciousness, because that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for.
Incredible. I love it. Yeah. So we're going to talk more about this, because I feel there's a theme going on. There's something I want to ask you. I'd love to hear a beautiful song of yours. Something that you feel right now is pertinent.
I think one of my practices, once again, is that feeling good thing. So of course that's gratitude practice. And my mom, when I was a kid, if I felt sad or bad about something, she would always say, well, just think of this. There's someone that's much more worse off than you are. And I'd go, oh, wait. But then she was really basically saying, be grateful for where you are and what you have and so forth. So this is a song that I wrote many years ago, but I love this song. It's a download from Spirit, as are most of my songs. And so this is called Thankful I Am. Today I saw the sun. I stood out in the rain and watched the eagle fly again. I heard a baby cry and walked right through a storm and felt the wind upon my face. And all the while I could not help but see the life that lives and breathes in you and me. and I'm grateful, and I'm thankful, oh Lord. Yes, I am, and I'm hopeful, yes, and I am so full, and I'm thankful, oh, I am. I hugged an old oak tree, the earth beneath my feet, and saw a shooting star above. I looked into your eyes and touched an open heart and fell into a whole lot of love. And all the while I could not help but see the life that lives and breathes in you and me. And I'm peaceful, yeah, and I'm grateful, and I'm thankful, oh Lord. Yes, I am, and I'm hopeful, yes, and I'm so full, but I'm thankful, oh, I am. I am so peaceful, yeah, I'm grateful, I am thankful, oh, yes I am. I'm hopeful, oh, and I'm so full, and I'm thankful, oh, I am. Yes, I'm thankful, oh, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So grateful, yes. So thankful. So peaceful. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Whoa. Yes, I am. So grateful, yes. So hopeful, so peaceful. I'm thankful. I am. Yeah.
Woo! Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
That's a prayer. That's a beautiful prayer. Really,
Yeah,
really moved me and touched my heart. And your voice is very, I feel a freedom in your voice. It's like, has that always been your voice? You know what I mean by that? Or is this how you've discovered your voice? Because there's a real sense of liberation, I feel, in your voice.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
cool to say. I have been a singer since I was very young, and I moved to New York to pursue that, and I had great things happen, but I don't think my voice really freed itself up until I found Science of Mind, and started writing in a kind of a different way. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I mean, as women, well, maybe everyone, but as women, as we get older, after a while, we're just like, I'm doing whatever I
want.
And there was a freedom, a liberation that came in my voice with Science of Mind. I have to say that. And I think that's just getting closer to God as I know God. So, and just really feeling the music. Whereas when I lived in New York, I was trying to make it, music business. And when you're trying to make it, for me, it was hard to be in touch with my authentic self, because I was so business and I'm going to make it and I'm going to have a hit song and, become a big star. For me, that I think that it made me something's got squelched, a freedom got squelched.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I made a video about this today, actually, about how we get so wrapped up in the wanting the end result and the technology and having to master all of that, and we lose thread of the passion that originally brought us here or has got us here in the first place, and that can just squelch everything. It's like, oh my gosh, I have this business, or I'm trying to do this for my life, and yet there's all this other stuff that needs to happen as well. And then it becomes like, oh, the creativity, where's that gone out the window? So I can see how your voice would just kind of shrink with that.
Yes. And it wasn't that it wasn't still, I had record labels interested. It never went through, though. I never did sign the whole deal thing. Actually, that's not true, but I mean with big record labels that approached me. And kind of, thank goodness, I don't know if I would have been ready for that or in the right frame of mind to have that even occur. So yeah, I think all is good. I think it's all perfection the way things unfold.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when we look back and we say, actually, I can see that was the picture. This is the picture, and this is what's brought me here, and that had to happen.
Yeah. I think I was. I'm sure that you know Gary Floyd. You know Gary Lynn Floyd.
Yes.
Yeah. So he and I have written songs together, and we still get together and write. And he was talking to me the other day during our writing session and said, and these aren't exactly the words, but if you're writing a song and you're trying to write a hit song, or you're thinking that you're going to write the greatest song ever, then you've squelched any real creativity, because your mind is more about what that end result is.
Yes.
And when I was in New York, it so became about, every time I picked up my guitar, it was about, I have to write a hit song. And I look back now and go, oh my gosh, that's how things could so shut down easily and become inauthentic, because I'm trying to be something for someone else.
Yeah, or an idea of success that we have.
Yes.
Attaining that. So, so do you feel, because I hear you and the thread here of letting go, and that final stage of spiritual mind treatment, which for anybody watching here that may not fully understand the process of spiritual mind treatment, where we're building our consciousness to knowing that the truth, and then we're realizing, and then we're letting go, because we know that we don't have to do that. We're not here to do the how. That's God. That's the divine. And do you think that for you, that letting go, because you talked about that before, and letting go of wanting that level of success, how has that enriched your life, if at all, now?
I'm a lot happier, that's for sure. I'm a lot happier. I used to read years ago, even when I was living in New York, and I was always on some kind of spiritual path. I'll tell you, Laura, I had Ernest Holmes' book, Science of Mind book. I used to love browsing old bookstores in the Village in New York, or any bookstore. And I bought that book 3 times while I lived in New York. And I would think it was really interesting, and I'd bring it home and start to read it, and I go, oh my gosh, this is so intellectual. This is too intense. I can't deal with it. And I would give it away. And then a few years later, I'd be out and about, and I'd see that book again. Oh, let me check this book out. 3 times gave it away. So when I came to Texas, that's when I
I love that. I have to stop you just there. Isn't it amazing how something comes and we give it away? It's like someone else needs it more than me. Yeah. He needs it or she needs it. I don't need it.
I don't need it. And I just didn't get it either. I don't know why I kept buying it, but I just didn't get it. It was so thick and intense and heavy. But I guess my point in saying that is that I've been on a spiritual path in my 20s, a gentleman that I was dating was so into it, and he introduced me into any kind of spiritual stuff. And I used to read these books about all you have to do is let go. And I would think to myself, how do you actually let go? So what happened for me is that I would just roll around that idea. Well, how do I let go? I don't know how to let go. And for me, it was an occurrence that happened. I don't think, I might have had the intention back here, but I don't think that I said, okay, I'm going to let go. It was something that occurred through me. And I don't know if other people have experienced it this way, but before I moved to Colorado 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I went through a very, a kind of deep depression. And in the midst of that depression, I knew I was going to come out the other end somehow, but it was a bad time. And in the midst of that depression is when the letting go occurred. So it's not like I said, oh, this is so hard, I'm going to let go. No, that letting go occurred. Mm-hmm. And then that's when things changed for me, and everything changed. And the depression all had to do with, I gave my whole entire life to singing, and I was nowhere. I had lost my job. My music lesson business was down to like 5 students or something like that. And I just felt like I had nothing. And, it took a dear friend of mine, a minister, to just go, okay, Robin, let's get back to some meditation. Let's get back to spiritual mind treatment. I'm like, spiritual mind treatment, no. Meditation, no. But in the end, that is exactly what saved me. And I went to the Center for Spiritual Living Dallas. I think I enrolled in like 2 or 3 courses. I went to the Dallas Meditation Center and got back into meditation. And that whole process, the depression, that's why I think that when we have conflict, those are the biggest spurts of growth, at least for me. I'm not saying that you have to do it that way, but let's face it, you're not going to just breeze through life without any conflict happening. Absolutely. And so I had my greatest growth spurt there. And I said to the universe, to God, show me what's next. Show me what's next. So there's ways that we can go. We can set an intention, but if we're holding on to that intention like this, then that doesn't work. So I decided to say, Spirit, God, show me what is next. And then that's when I was just open. I was done. I was, whew. And I said, I'm not going to keep trying to put my hand in here and move things along. And I know that kind of goes against our philosophy, but not really.
Not really.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, I think there's a point where we say, well, we planted the seed and it's starting to blossom as a beautiful flower. We don't want to dig it up, or it hasn't even blossomed yet. We don't want to dig it up to check.
Absolutely.
What's happening under there, because it's happening. That's the faith part, isn't it? Yeah, that letting go, and then having faith in the process that we can let go. We're not here for the how. We can let go of the how.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that was a big flip for me. And then that's when Mile High called me. And then, and I just thought when Mile High called me, I hit the big kahuna. I was so excited and so thrilled. And and then I moved to Colorado and spent, the last few years there living in such beauty and just things changed. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. I don't even know what.
Wow, you have. It's neither do I. I can't remember now, but it's just like a beautiful flow of conversation. Would you honor us with another song? For viewers that are watching right now, we're here with the beautiful Robin Hackett, who is an incredible singer and songwriter and teacher. There we go. I'm going to put that one first. Teacher, singer, songwriter. Yeah.
This is a song that I wrote in my foundations course at Science of Mind at CSL Dallas, and you have to do a project at the end. So
I did a song for that as well.
Mine turned out to be a song. And I just have so many songs that were just downloaded that just took me minutes to write, seriously, because once you're available, your vessel is available, then Spirit can just shoot right in. So this is a song that I wrote. When I woke up this morning and I opened up my eyes and I stared out the window, and what to my surprise was a snow-covered hill and the earth standing still for all to see. And I said to myself, what a precious world I'm in, where each moment is a lifetime and a new life can begin. And we have the vision, the light and the life that never ends. And I am as you are, and we are the universal seed. And all this creation was born out of what we believe, believe. And I do believe, yes, I do believe. So hold in your heart all that you desire, and what you never wanted, let it burn in the fire, 'cause you have the power to plant any flower and watch it bloom. And I am as you are, and we are the universal seed. And all this creation was born out of what we believe, believe. And I do believe, yes, I do believe. And I do believe, yes, I do believe, 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 believe.
Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
Amazing. That was from your Foundations, came through from Foundations. Isn't it incredible? Yeah, when we're learning at that level and opening up to the flow that is here, what comes through.
Yeah. You know what's so interesting too, that I've discussed with other musicians, is that sometimes, especially in New Thought, like songs will come through me. They'll literally be downloaded. And I'll go, oh, where did that come from? And then I'll look at the words and go, I've got some learning to do, because sometimes the song will come through with a message that I think is for everyone else, but really that message is
yes.
And I have to catch up to it, if that makes sense. I have to
Absolutely. I love what you're saying. I mean, I think that's probably for all of my songs. I'm learning.
So, I just recently discovered, I did not know that you were a musician and singer. I did not know that. That's cool. That's so cool.
I am, and I've been doing this since 2013. That's when I began. That's when I created my first album, and then 4 albums, and met Jason, and he's the music, and I'm the words, and we've made many beautiful songs. Yeah, you'll have to come to a concert.
Did you always want to perform? Look, now I'm interviewing you.
I know. Okay, that's another broadcast.
Okay.
I always loved singing as a child, and yet I didn't have the confidence. And then for me, it took a journey for me in 2012 of something happening for me, and an experience, really a spiritual experience that allowed me to really open up and own that I want to sing and bring my songs to life. Yeah.
Oh, I love
so
that.
it wasn't that I was on a I didn't go to music school and have all that plan as a child, think this is what I'm going to do, or as a young adult. For me, it was like a secret desire of, but I could never do that. I could never do that. And then it's like, no, I'm going to do it.
Well, good for you. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Mine was, I was compelled from the moment that I discovered music, at least me playing it. I think I was 6 or 7. And my parents gave me this little organ for Christmas. And I took piano lessons at my little Catholic school, and I just fell in love. Now, I was at the time, I had actually fallen in love with acting, and I was going to be, this famous actress. But then I discovered music, and it wasn't until later that I discovered that I could sing. I would say probably around 11 or maybe 10 that I had something going on. And so that's really where my journey began. But when I was 7 and 8, I would just be on that little organ, be la la la, making up the craziest songs. And I used to little plays and stuff, things like that.
Oh yeah, I did that. Put shows on, the whole lot, So let's talk a little bit about intuition, because we were talking about that before we came on here, and how you were saying that you really have this incredible awareness of your intuition, and even where you need to be living, and where you need to be for this to expose itself for you, for this beautiful flow to come through. And I think what you're just saying just now about how you knew as a young child, this is what you wanted to do, to shine your light for people, whether it's acting or singing, and this is how it's unraveled. And what is it about you? What do you know about listening to that still silent voice?
Wow, it has been around for a while. That still silent voice comes when you least expect it. It causes you, and I'll give you an example. And I just wrote a book called The Creative You. And I write about the different experiences that I've had in my life. I have tons. I could write a whole book about every synchronicity that I've had, every serendipitous moment, what have you. But when I graduated from college, I wanted to move to New York to be a singer. And my dad was not, he always supported my music, but he wanted me to have like that safety backup thing going on. And he wasn't really ready for me to leave home either. And I wanted to go to New York, and New York City to him was like this big, monster place. And he grew up there. So he was like, no, you don't do that. And so I ended up staying in upstate New York where my parents were. And I ended up taking a job at an insurance company and going through this management program and everything. And I wasn't singing, nothing at all. I wasn't performing. I wasn't pursuing it. And I'm sitting at, Metropolitan Life Insurance in upstate New York, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm like, you're supposed to be in New York. And so the next thing I knew, that thought popped in, and I got up, and I describe it in the book. I don't know how I walked up, to my manager and said, hey, can I take vacation on Friday? And she said, well, let me get back to you at the end of the day. I think it was like Monday. She said, let me get back to you. And so lo and behold, she got back to me. I didn't think she was going to say yes, but she was like, yeah, sure, you can do that. So I went to New York on that Saturday. Monday, I found a job. I went job hunting. I found a job, and I went back to upstate New York on that Wednesday, put in my 2-week notice. My boyfriend at the time went on the hunt for an apartment for us, actually, in Manhattan, even though people said, oh, no, you'll never find an apartment in Manhattan. That's not going to work, da-da-da-da-da. And he found one, and I had a car at the time, and I was like, well, what am I going to do with a car in New York? Well, I get there to my apartment, and my boyfriend found somebody to buy the car. So I drove up, unloaded my car to this new apartment, and the person that was going to buy it, was right there, and he drove off with it. So it just was one of those things where everything just opened up, boom, 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 boom. Just like I was telling you in Diego earlier about my move to Colorado.
Yes.
So that was intuition. And of course, everybody around you is like, well, what's going on? How can you do this? Because it took me, I was in New York within 2 weeks of that initial, God whisper. I was in New York. And so every big move that I've made has happened that way.
And I love what you said earlier also about how if you're guided or you think or you feel to move somewhere and doors aren't opening or opportunities aren't flowing as you really want them to, that you can divert it and you do it. You're very flexible. You move with that rather than trying to make it happen in the stuckness.
Yeah, I won't do it. I might get confused when I thought that something I was supposed to go this direction, and that's not what happens. And I'll be like, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, ask the right questions, and the answers will come. That's my thought on it.
So is that do you have an amazing ability to not be attached to where you are?
Now I do. I do more so. Also, Laura, I'm a military brat. So, I grew up, I spent the majority of my childhood in Germany. I spent 8 years of my childhood in Germany. And we didn't move that much, but we moved just enough that I don't have a big, huge attachment. Like I'm here in Texas, the weather's really different than Colorado, but I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to find beauty. I'm going to be in search of beauty here. No, and there's beauty everywhere. You just have to open your eyes and look. Yeah. So, no, I'm not that attached, but I used to be. I used to think that New York was the only place that I could ever live or that my career could ever happen. And when I left New York, it was boom, Sunday morning, 20 years after I'd gotten there, it's time to leave. And I'm like, uh-oh, really? And the next thing I know, I'm on the phone with my mom here in Texas, and I'm saying to her, I think I'm going to move to Texas. She goes, oh, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to. Got off the phone, made a plane reservation, and was here in Texas a month later. This was 20-something years ago, 23 years ago. That's what happened.
I love it. I love this spontaneity. It's like, this is contagious. I think that's your next book, Contagious Spontaneity.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I could tell you so many stories. And so I moved to Texas 20-something years ago. It was great. My family was here. I hadn't been around my family as an adult, like lived so close to them. And it was such an amazing time and a great time. And it's where I found, Texas is where I found Science of Mind. And that shifted my whole entire life. And had I not listened to that intuition, perhaps that might not have happened. It would have happened eventually, but it happened, at that particular point.
When it needed to.
Yes. Yeah.
So for viewers now that are watching, we are with the amazing, incredible Robin Hackett, who's sharing her teachings and her life, your life with us, and your inspirations. And we're here on New Thought Media Network, which is just a beautiful platform to be able to share this. Thank you, New Thought Media Network, and Reverend Robert Rosinski, and Diego, who's behind the scenes, producing our show here. And I'm just really interested now, after what we talked about at the very beginning with last year, and still the ripple effect of last year. What would you say, Robin, for viewers now that are watching that maybe don't trust that intuition, that voice, or too scared to let go of, really being now in the there's this fear. For me, I have this kind of fear of, oh my gosh, we're opening up again. I'm allowed out. I don't know if I feel safe. I don't know if I feel safe going out and mingling and being with people. It's kind of like we get conditioned so quickly, don't we, into one way. And now we're being shown or told, hang on, let's go back. Scary, can be scary. We're being shifted and shuttled around a bit, aren't we here?
Yeah. I guess the biggest thing that I learned, because, that Michael Singer book, The Untethered Soul, don't believe everything you think. That's the biggest. Do not believe everything that you think. So if you're, and not that, so I used to think that Science of Mind was magic. It's not magic. But I did at the beginning of the pandemic, I talked to the virus, and I said, do not come near my friends and family. That's what I said. In my heart of hearts, I'm not fearful of getting it, because I do believe in and I know this sounds for some people, it's going to be harsh because I've lost people. I do believe in the perfection of life, and that each thing is happening in perfection. I used to be very fearful of death, but I'm not anymore. It's just the next thing that will happen. Mm-hmm. Everybody has to go through it. Everybody will go through it. And so I'm very much into letting go wherever I can. And a lot of this, it's funny because it's from our philosophy, but my mom, she's 86. And I guess that's the gift that you get at being 86. Maybe not, but that's her gift. And she's pretty much, no, it's not that important. Whatever you're getting ready to fret over or make a big deal out of is not that important.
Right.
So for me, it's finding beauty. It's love. It's love. And I do have a song as my own song.
Please do.
Which is a song that was downloaded to me because I hadn't written in a while. And I said to the universe, to God, the divine, I hadn't written in a while, Laura, but I hadn't shown up to write because I was afraid if I showed up and I didn't write a hit song, then of showing up. And I just couldn't bring myself to show up, pick up my guitar, and have a song turn out to be not a hit song, whatever that means. And so one day I just said, let's bite the bullet here. And I just sat down and with my guitar and I said, okay, Spirit, what message needs to go out into the world?
Wow.
And, the song Love Is What We're Here For, which is my mantra. It is my mantra.
Mine too. Mine too.
My purpose for living is to discover the love that I am, but also discover the love that everyone else is all around me. And so I'm really making a practice of when I have a conflict with someone, I am no longer shaming or blaming them. I'm looking inside and saying, well, how can I be loving in this situation?
Absolutely.
Does it mean that I have to stick around and stay with that person because maybe the energy is off? No, it doesn't mean that. But for my own peace of mind, I want to keep on, discovering, revealing that love that's within me, because I do believe that we're here to become more Christ-like. More Christ-like.
And whatever that means, for whoever's viewing, Christ is an idea rather than a person. As an example rather than a person. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So Robin, I'd love you to share your song. Thank you.
I would love to.
Thank you. Robin Hackett here on New Thought Media Network.
So
the
much.
Cosmic Prayer.
We are all just mirrors, in your faces I see clearer, clearer than I've ever seen before. The heart is where to live from, to give all you can give from. This is what I truly know for sure. In love is what we're here for, to give and give more. Oh, love. In love is what we're here for, to give and give more. I said love, 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 love. I'm tired of all this anger and my own unkind behavior. Who am I to judge anyone at all? 'Cause if I look into you, I can see the pain you've been through. And I know 'cause I've felt the same way that you do. And love is what we're here for, to give and give more. Oh, love. And love is what we're here for, to give and give more. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Oh. I said love, 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 love. And I am an instrument of my peace. I am an instrument of my love. I said love, 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 love. I am an instrument of my peace. I am an instrument of my love. I said love, 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 love. And I am an instrument of sweet love, oh, sweet love. And I am an instrument of my peace. I am an instrument of my love. I say love, oh, sweet love, oh, sweet love. And love is what we're here for. To give and give more, love. And love is what we're here for. To give and give more, love, 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 love. I said love, 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 love. Oh, love. Oh, love.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robin Hackett. What an absolute treasure you are. And I'm just feel so blessed to meet you like this and for you to come onto the Cosmic Prayer and to share in so authentically in the way that you are. Thank you for everything that you're doing and the music that you're bringing to life. And I just love it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you and I appreciate the network and Robert and thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel like I love this and I love being here on a Monday. For me, it's like 6 o'clock in the evening. I know it's early in the morning for you, but it's like such a great way to begin the week.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. So for viewers watching, this is the beautiful Robin Hackett. You can find her at robinhackettmusic.com. And she's also on you're on Facebook, aren't you? People can find you here on Facebook. There we go. Thank you, Diego. And Robin, I'm sure we'll be back on the network in other capacities, shining your light. And we'd love to have you back here on the Cosmic Prayer also at some point, you know, to share again. Yeah, there's your website. Beautiful. I love that pink chair. I want that pink chair.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Thank you, Laura.
Oh, right. Okay. So I am going to, something's happening here because we're off into the Zoom room at just gone 6 o'clock. For anybody that's watching now that feels that they would like to really embody prayer and to be in the energy of prayer, then please join me in the Zoom room. Diego's put the link up here and the link is live also on Facebook feed. So you can click into that and join me there in the Zoom room. And if you can't make it there, then stay around here on Media Network because there'll be more amazing broadcasts coming up through. Thank you again, Robin. If this has moved you in any way and you are a giving...
How do I go to the Zoom room?
If this has moved you... Oh, I'll tell you that in a minute when we're in backstage.
Okay, all right.
And for those of you that feel really inspired to support New Thought Media Network, you can, you know, there's a giving donation linked here on the explanation, of the post. You can link directly into a donate button here and give from your heart because we are here all giving from our hearts, and all of the funding that you give, all of the financing that is here goes straight to New Thought Media Network, which is a focus ministry. Senior minister is Reverend Robert Brzezinski with his amazing vision to bring our teaching to the world on, and through the network, through entertainment, and through this positive, enlightened broadcasting that we do here on the network. So thank you again, Robin, for joining us. So much love to you, and keep singing your song. Keep bringing your song to the planet.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you for listening to Cosmic Prayer, your weekly shift with Laura Topper on the New Thought Media Network. If you've enjoyed this programming, please tell a friend and join us again next week for Cosmic Prayer, your weekly shift with Laura Topper.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience, or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.